This is Steve Beverly asking for your help. WLJT Channel 11, West Tennessee's home for educational and quality TV since 1968, needs your financial support. We don't sell commercials. Instead, we rely on donations from viewers. Channel 11 is the most local station in all of West Tennessee, bringing you local shows about events, happenings, and issues important to West Tennessee. It's really easy to donate. Go to westtnpbs.org. It's quick, easy, and secure. Donate today and show your support for local, educational, and quality television. Channel 11 needs your support today.
Human trafficking isn't just a global issue. It's happening in our own communities. Hello, I'm Julie Cook. On this edition of Tennessee is Talking, we're sitting down with the Scarlet Rope Project to talk about their work in fighting human trafficking and providing a path of restoration for survivors. And we'll get details on their crowd-pleasing fundraiser, Wing Fest. Let the conversation begin.
We are rolling. Confirm record. Can we get a mic check? Check, check. Stand by camera 2. Take 2. Stand by announcer in 3, 2.
West Tennessee PBS presents Tennessee is Talking. Let the conversation begin.
Welcome to Tennessee is Talking. I'm Julie Cook, and today we're highlighting an organization that's doing incredible life-changing work in our community. The Scarlet Rope Project provides a safe, faith-based residential program for women who are survivors of sexual trauma and trafficking. Their upcoming fundraiser, Wing Fest, is a chance for the community to come together for great food and a great purpose. Joining us is Executive Director Julianne Stone and caseworker Lindsay Atwood. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
A lot of important things to talk about. The fun part is your fundraiser, Wing Fest, and but a lot of folks still may not be familiar with Scarlet Rope and the work that you do. If you'd give us an overview, please, ma'am.
Yes, so Scarlet Rope's been around in Jackson for the past 10 years, and we provide a safe place of healing and restoration to survivors of sex trafficking. We work primarily with females, adult females over the age of 18. We do get referrals for males and for children, and we do have partner networks throughout the United States that we can kind of help facilitate placement or services for those as well. So,
are your survivors that you work with from different areas of West Tennessee, or primarily in our community?
So we are one of the organizations in Tennessee that will take out of state residents, and so we do work with other agencies throughout the United States that they might need to help a lady relocate so she can apply to come to our program. I would say the majority of our house, it's usually about 60-40, 60% West Tennessee, 40% maybe East Tennessee or the surrounding states.
So you're able to house how many then?
We can have 8 women at one time, and we provide wraparound services for them. They can stay with us up to 2 years, and with that can mean a lot of things as far as the services that we provide, because it is an individualized care-based program. And that is why Lindsay is here.
So your job then is to start their, I guess, kind of get a project or a line of work for them to, and that's confidential, I understand. I wonder how many women, children, males, how is that broken up? Primarily women, we understand, but do you see children and males in your program as well?
Well, we cannot house children,
right.
And so, but yes, we know that trafficking is not. Trafficking hits the most vulnerable population, and so children, of course, are the most vulnerable among us. So there's a lot of child trafficking. A lot of the female victims that we work with, or survivors that we work with, they were sexually exploited as a child, and it has just continued on into adulthood. We do see that a lot.
Something you told me, and it still surprises me, because when we think of human trafficking, we think of girls being just kidnapped on the street, or they meet somebody in a place and go home, and then you never see them again and things like that. But that's not really the the standard
No.
of what happens when somebody is taken in with traffic. It's a slower process, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, a lot of people, when we started Scarlet Rope 10 years ago, they would refer to the movie Taken. That's a very sensationalized form of trafficking. But we've worked with over, 100 women, and none of them were kidnapped by someone they didn't know. They all knew their trafficker. Now, whether that was for, 2 hours, 2 days, all their life, that varied, but they did have a sense of knowing the person that ended up trafficking them.
I just don't think we ever had that impression. Most people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about, I don't know, family members, boyfriends. How does it develop? I've heard it compared to child sexual abuse, where they're kind of groomed.
Yeah.
How does that
So
work?
that's a word that we hear a lot is grooming, and that's when someone kind of caters to someone and kind of finds a void or a need or a vulnerability, and they kind of slip into that, and whether that's someone that's needing, the money, or there's a child that doesn't have a lot of parental oversight, and so that person steps in and like becomes their friend, takes them out to eat, maybe takes them shopping, and kind of gets to know them and then flips it on them. Another newer term that we're starting to call that is it's called sugaring, and that's basically where you are just kind of like love bombing somebody, finding all the things about them where they feel like this is a relationship. And then flipping it on them and saying, okay, I've done these things for you, I provided these things for you, now you need to do this for me.
So you gradually get them to depend on that person.
Yes.
And then so whatever they want to do, you go along. So are they, I don't know if pimping them out, is that the right,
Yes.
and then they're taking the money. And then the girls oftentimes end up with very little in return.
Basically, someone is exploiting someone else for their personal gain.
Yeah. So they get shelter and food and everything.
Some do, some
Or
don't. It varies it's always different. Every victim or survivor that we've worked with, it's usually there's a dynamic that is different from the other one sitting next to them.
So you'll have drugs involved a lot of times, I would
Yes.
assume.
Yeah.
But pretty much all the time, or some
with
not
us in West
necessarily?
Tennessee, yeah, it is. I would say it's 98% of the time. There might be 1 or 2 times when there was not drugs involved, but it's a rarity.
And a lot of times the drug use is part of the trafficking too. So if a abuser can get a woman addicted to drugs, he can use that to further manipulate her as well.
What is your typical, I guess you do the intake and interviews and things like that. Kind of take us through that process. When someone first comes in, what is the first thing that you do?
Absolutely. So they start the process by filling out an application on our website, and then our program director and clinical director will have an intake phone call with them and just kind of go through a questionnaire and hear more about their history. And then once they become admitted to our program, we get them in the first couple weeks, especially we're really trying to just establish safety. Of course, they have to fill out some paperwork and things like that so we can get to know a little bit more of their history, but really just focusing on establishing safety. And then after about a month or 2 of that, then we'll really start them with our programming.
What sort of emotional and psychological help are they offered?
So we have in-house therapy, one-on-one, once a week for them, and then they're in lots of different group therapies, lots of outsourced therapies. They do things like EMDR, LENS, MRT. So they're equine
therapy,
yeah,
their
fun ones,
favorite.
art ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know the other initials that you said. Now, what is, sorry. So what type of therapy is that?
So LENS uses, you might explain it better.
LENS is
but
a neurofeedback therapy. It's kind of it's a newer therapy, and it has to do with it can help with impulse control, with intrusive thoughts and things like that. But EMDR is a trauma-based therapy that they work with a clinical physician with that, a clinical therapist with that component.
So then you pretty much determine which direction they go as far as their healing process.
Yes,
Yeah, we have a
try to-
treatment team. So treatment team meets every Wednesday, and that's the program director, clinical director, us. That's basically all the staff, and we kind of make decisions as a team on those things. But it is pretty much standard for them to all do LENS and EMDR for their trauma therapy.
Do you find that some are resistant?
Yes.
Is
and
it hard? Is it hard for them to even believe that they're going to have help?
Yeah.
When they first arrive.
And we don't force anything. I mean, things have been forced on them before they came to us. So that is not. So there's always choice involved in the planning that we do with them. It's not just people telling them what to do. They've got to have buy-in, and they've got to want to do that. So there have been times when a woman is like, I don't want to do this therapy, and we're like, that's fine. We just encourage them because it's not. We feel like it's a gift that they have this time with us, and all these services are free. So we hope that they would take advantage of them while they're with us.
You have to wonder at some point, do they realize that they are being groomed or they are being taken care of for the sole purpose of being exploited for sex? How do you deal with that? Or how does that, I guess it's all part of their whole treatment. But I just wonder, at some point, there's got to be a point like, I'm not really getting anything out of this. I'm being used by the person who's supposed to love me.
Yes. So do you want to speak to that?
Sure. Yeah, so, we are an anti-trafficking program, and the women know that when they come in. So there's some acknowledgement already of they understand what has happened to them and they want out of it. But beyond that, there are a lot of aha moments throughout the time that they spend at the house with us. And so a lot of that just looks like us coming alongside them, showing them love that's unconditional, that they haven't really experienced in a lot of ways before, or, just holding their hand as they're kind of making those changes for their own life that they feel like they need to make.
There's an element maybe of shame that they've let themselves get into this. How is that handled?
Shame is probably the biggest thing we fight against in the Scarlet Rope House, because man, it can destroy a person. And so, like Lindsay was saying, just doing those, having those groups about learning about themselves, and just and we're faith-based. I mean, we have Bible study every morning, just leaning into our community of churches and Bible study teachers, and just really, taking it to the Lord, basically. And so, shame is a pretty big thing that we're up in a battle against, and in the house with
and
the
that
women.
comes the restoration part.
Absolutely.
I'm guessing. What, as far as Scarlet Robe, why is that the name? What significance is that?
So Scarlet Robe is based off of in the Bible, Joshua. So there was a prostitute named Rahab in biblical times, and she lived in a city, Jericho, and the Lord wanted to destroy the city because of the corruption there, and so He sent 2 spies in to kind of get a game plan of how they're going to destroy the city. And while they were there, they stayed in Rahab's brothel, if you want to call it that, home. And she recognized them as good men, as men from the Lord. And so she said, when you come back to destroy the city, will you spare my family? And they said, yes. Hang a scarlet rope out of your window, and we will pass by your house. And so that's exactly what happened. They destroyed Jericho, but Rahab and her family were spared. We later see her in the lineage of Christ. She is mentioned in the book of Matthew. And so we just want the women to know that despite their mess, we are all in the lineage of Christ. So
I guess that's quite a task to get someone, because people in general have a feeling of not being worthy or being inferior, and so with their past lives, that's a very daunting task to get that person to believe in themselves again.
Oh, it is.
I would think.
And that's honestly, that's not even our job. We just know that we are planting seeds, and those seeds, we're just, He's going to make them grow the more, and the person themselves, they're going to help them grow as well by the things that they choose to do and put into their mind and read and believe about themselves. So it can get a little overwhelming at times. Because I would love to say that every woman that comes to Scarlet Rope graduates, leaves, and lives a perfect life. That's just not it. We know we have a lot of women that, well, not a lot, and I don't even know the statistics, but I would say it's fairly half of them that end up going back into a trafficking situation or into drug use. But we know that the time that they spent with us, whether it was 2 days or 2 months or 2 years, we did our job. We planted seeds. We did what the Lord called us to do. And so, I learned early on, if there's a failure in this, I can't take on that. Neither can I take on the success. It's all His. And so I'm just here to show up to plant some seeds. So,
are there typical situations? I'm trying to think if somebody is in a situation now, if they're watching. What are they looking for? If they're not really comfortable with the relationship, or they think, maybe even going back to that grooming, that love bombing, as you call it, what are things that women should look for to maybe try to head off or keep from getting caught? Because it seems from what you say, it's very hard to get away from once you're involved.
Yeah, do you want to speak to that as well?
Yeah. I think something that we really prioritize in our program is building healthy and safe community. A lot of times an abuser is going to try to isolate the woman as much as he possibly can. So any chance that there is to build community with people who are safe and healthy is going to be a huge help. I think that's probably the biggest one.
And then also, if you are in a relationship and it's just moving really fast, again, that's love bombing, where it's just, they are just whining and dining and making promises. Maybe they come through on some of those promises, but some of them they don't. They're pampering with presents, with even words. They are gathering information about you, almost overly curious, wanting to know every little detail, those things like that. That's love bombing, sugaring. So we see a lot of that, where a woman, they get in a situation and they truly are confused because they thought that this was their boyfriend,
But then they feel indebted? Is that what they would say?
Yes.
So I guess I need to do what he asks me to do.
And that's part of it. We've had women that have come in, and to her point of the first couple months of building safety, we are just, because the person that they thought was safe ended up not being safe. And so just helping her walk through that, and recognizing that that wasn't a safe situation. That's very, very a big part of what we do in the very beginning.
So how do you build
as well.
up that trust, or get them to trust that someone is going to help? And
you are
try to heal.
consistent in your words. If you say it, you do it. You follow through. You show up. You give them physical safety with cameras on. We have cameras on the house. We have locks on the doors, things like that. But you give them emotional safety of non-judgment. What else would you?
Yeah, I think keeping your word is a huge one. Keeping your word and just allowing them space to make mistakes, I think is a big one.
Yes.
A lot of them, going back to that shame piece, they've been told that if they make a mistake, then they're no longer lovable. And so providing a space where, yes, we have rules, yes, we have expectations, but we don't expect perfection. And we love them even if they do something that would be otherwise considered unlovable.
You hit on something a minute ago, and that isolation part of that is, talk about that a little bit more, because that may be, I think in just a regular, well, not a normal situation, it's not, but even in an abusive, without the trafficking.
Right, exactly.
I think that isolation is it's a big red flag, because the person can misconstrue that as, he just loves me so much, he wants to be with me all the time, and I get so much attention and this and this and this. Red flag most of the time.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, for sure. And if we all know, it takes community to heal. it takes community to lift each other up, and so they want the opposite of that. Plus, if you're in community with people and you're talking and something was off the night before, and you're in community, you might say something to someone, and so they don't want you around people where you can talk, and so. Yeah, isolation is it is one of the main things that we see with the women when they come in. They're not used to being around people, and if they are, it's usually just a very select few of people. So yeah,
And probably feel like nobody would really understand what they're
absolutely that we get that a lot,
through.
and honestly, I don't understand. I'm not a survivor myself, but that's the beauty of having a home where there are other women that don't have the same story, but they can have similar stories, and so they can connect in that way together and heal together.
We're moving through very quickly. It seems like the time has gone so fast. But a few years ago, you all sponsored your very first Wing Fest.
Yes.
And what's the other one in the spring?
Crawfest is in the spring.
And
We like a fest.
Yeah, it's a big fest, I'll say that. But put in a very celebratory twist to a very serious problem. And it is. So we've done the Crawfest. Now it's time for Wing Fest. So talk about that and the details.
Yeah. So yeah, we like to have fun at our fundraisers. And so Wing Fest will be October the 25th at Hub City Brewing from 1 to 5. And it is for people that think that they have the best wing, recipe in town. Well, come on down and let's try to see if it really is. It is a competition. And so we, last year, I think we had about 15 to 18 teams that competed. Is that the right word? Competed. So it's just a fun family event. We do encourage families to come. There'll be football on the big screens. We're going to have jumpies for the kids, face painting. It's just, I think there's going to be a DJ there. We actually shut down the street behind Hub City Brewing, and so it'll be an outside event.
Kind of outgrown every space you've been in.
And the biggest thing, which we did last year, and we're bringing it back this year, is the dunking booth. And we will have some community leaders that will be in that dunking booth. And granted, this is October; it's cold, and
so it'll be a little bit of a chill in the air.
It's going to have a little bit of a chill.
So there's some dedicated souls there.
Yes, there are.
But you do raise a great deal of money.
Yes.
Is it growing every year?
Yeah, it's growing every year. Yeah, our goal this year is around 50,000, and so Crawfest is our bigger one, and we're hoping to get Wingfest just up to that speed as well. But it's just a fun fall event for the family as well. So. It takes a lot of people to put this on, a lot of preparation, and we're very grateful for all the volunteers that we have.
It really does. So how do we get our tickets?
Yeah, so we will be posting our ticket link pretty soon on our website as well as our social media. So those will probably go live the first week of September. We also are looking for sponsors. So if there are any businesses or organizations that want to sponsor, we'd love to have them involved as well. And for more information about if you want to join in on the competition, again, you can go to our website. There's information
Scarlet
about
Road
that.
Project.
Yes.
And you have a Facebook page.
And we have a Facebook page, Instagram page. Yeah. And then we actually have a Facebook page for Wingfest that has information on it.
Yeah, it has a separate one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Definitely the two events too. But well, you all are doing God's work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That is a definite ministry. Sex trafficking, human trafficking, Scarlet Rope Project has been a blessing to a lot of people. So I hope that you continue to do that. And I'm sorry that our time is just about up. Yeah. But you can look up the Wingfest page or Scarlet Rope Project to get in touch and order the tickets online and come on out and have a great time. But as far as our time is up. Thank you so much. Julianne Stone is Executive Director. Lindsay Atwood is Case Manager for the Scarlet Rope Project. And if you want to find out more about that in the upcoming Wingfest, you can also watch this program or share it with a friend. Remember, you can stream this episode episode and all the local Channel 11 programs anytime on the PBS app. You can also watch it on the West Tennessee PBS YouTube channel and on westtnpbs.org. Keep the conversation going by following West Tennessee PBS on social media. And until next time, keep on talking, Tennessee.
Do you have a topic you'd like to see discussed on a future episode of Tennessee is Talking? Maybe you want to be a guest and have something to talk about. Send your ideas to tnistalking@westtnpbs.org. Include all your contact information and let the conversation continue.
When my parents left us their home, we weren't sure what to do with the property.
Do you have land, residential, or commercial property you're not using? Donate it and support our station. You may even qualify for a sizable tax deduction.
It feels good to be able to give back, and they would have loved that too.
Your real estate donation can make a real impact. Call us toll-free or visit us online.
Hello, it's Peter Knoll, Channel 11 General Manager and CEO, asking you, if you love shows like Tennessee is Talking that you're watching right now, consider making a donation to Channel 11 to keep these shows coming to you. And if you do, we'll give you one of these lovely thank you gifts. We've got the Tennessee is Talking organizer clipboard, has a pen holder in it. We also have the Tennessee is Talking tote and the Tennessee is Talking cap. So all these items can be yours. Donate now, westtnpbs.org.
The program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.